Happy Saturday afternoon and welcome to Baltimore. It's a chilly one, mid-50s for a rivalry that's always heated. Syracuse and Johns Hopkins, the two winningest programs in the history of men's college lacrosse, do battle today at Homewood Field as Joey Spallina, on pace to be Syracuse's all-time leading scorer, leads the Orange against Hunter Chauvet, Matt Collison, and a Blue Jays team that's coming off a major comeback in Charlottesville, sparked by the goalie, that man, Oren Jelinas. And if you think he's tight heading into this start against Syracuse, he's not. He's messing around with our camera guy, clearly having a good time. We can't wait to watch it with you. Alongside Quinn Kesnick, I'm Drew Carter. And Q, when you think of men's college lacrosse, you think Syracuse and Hopkins. You played in it. What does this rivalry mean?
It's special. It's one you circle on the calendar, and this should be electric. I mean, Syracuse, lacrosse matters a lot up in central New York. You got football, you got basketball, and then you got Jim Brown and the Orange, or the Powells, or the Gates. Here at Hopkins, it's the only D1 sport, and lacrosse is really important in this city of Baltimore.
And Jim Brown, Gates, Powells. Add Joey Spallina to that list because he is tracking to be the program's all-time leading scorer. He's played Hopkins 3 times in his career, 3 assists in every game. Q, what makes him special?
Well, he's very much the point guard of this offense. He's a senior, and he may be taken number 1 overall in the Premier Lacrosse League draft because of his ability to disperse the ball to teammates. And when needed, he can get to the rack himself. He's a body dodger. He's got great body control, but his vision is what separates him. Joey Spallina, 14 goals, 11 assists. I thought he was magnificent in the win over Maryland.
And on the other side, Q, Hopkins may have saved their season with a 7-goal comeback at UVA.
Only the second time that type of comeback has been engineered here at Homewood Field. That game was in Charlottesville. They were down, rallied for 6 straight, overcome with emotion, playmaking. They turned that game around and pull out of Charlottesville with a win, a critical win for this young Hopkins team. And we'll see, does that energy, does that momentum, does that vibe carry over to today?
Yeah, their head coach Peter Milliman told us it was Frosties for everybody on the bus coming home from that game. As you see Syracuse and Johns Hopkins, Gary Gate, the head coach of the Orange, maybe the greatest player in the history of the sport. His first game at Syracuse was against Johns Hopkins, and both these coaches know just how much this one means between the two winningest programs in the sport, who have combined for 20 national championships, and they've met each other in that big game 5 different times. Got a clock issue here before we get started. Our officials today, Joe Cieslak, Jason Parks, Adam Ariosa. And we're good. We got 15 minutes up on that first quarter clock here at Homewood Field, one of the best places to watch a lacrosse game on the planet. It's going to be Joe Hobot to take the opening faceoff for Hopkins. Missed the last 2 games due to an injury against John Mullen, an All-American last year, who has not been himself the last couple games. It's a violation against Hopkins. It'll be Syracuse ball. Possession so critical, especially in a game like this, which is really a toss-up on paper. Hopkins at 4-1, Syracuse at 4-2. Part of a long road trip for the Orange. They play 2 Ivy League teams over the weekend. Got crushed by Princeton, then beat Penn in dramatic comeback fashion. Here he is, Joey Spallina, wearing the legendary 22. Now Michael Leo takes a shot. Jelinas has the answer on the opening possession.
Leo got the pay dirt, and Jelinas continues to be hot for the Blue Jays, coming off the bench last week in Charlottesville to deliver that win.
And the Orange turn him over. Dante Bowen picks it up off the carpet. Spallina sets up Wyatt Hoddle, and the Orange will slow it down. And creating turnovers, a big point of emphasis for Syracuse this week. Q, Gary Gate told us they want to get back to playing Syracuse lacrosse, getting up and down.
They've got to score outside of the half field, the 6-on-6 sets, because their last 2 games against Princeton and Penn were a little bit stagnant. They were slow-tempoed games, so look for the Orange to try to push the pace.
That was another save for Jelinas. Now Hopkins has to clear. The failed clear is a rarity for this Blue Jays team, and they do it again. They cleared at 94% on the year, which is second best in the country. And 2 early turnovers in the first 90 seconds. Syracuse on the ride is 65th in the country, so you'd expect that to be point of strength for Hopkins in this matchup, but not so far. Hoddle's got all kinds of speed, sets it up in the slot for Luke Roa, who puts Syracuse on the board first.
Capitalizing on multiple failed clears. Roa plants himself in the slot, and the Orange offense, who only scored 9 goals against Penn and 7 against Princeton, are off to a good start. You see the wing dodge draws the double team. The recovery, the second slide is late. Hopkins has struggled this year in their slide and recovery patterns.
There's a win for Carter Kryzak, who's a great story for Johns Hopkins. Really helped flip that game in Charlottesville last weekend. And they were missing Hobart for a couple of games. It's been a revolving door at the X for Johns Hopkins. They win their first possession here just over 2 minutes in. Jimmy McCool between the pipes for Syracuse. He was ACC Goalie of the Year last season, also from Massachusetts, just like Jelinas on the other side of the field.
McCool's hovering at 60%, which is outstanding. Coach Gate wants to see him throw more aggressive outlets. Get some transition going from D to O.
At X, it's Charlie Eiler. Jimmy Ayers is 4 in white and Hopkins blue. One of the shiftiest attackmen in the country. Matt Collison, always dangerous. McCool had the answer that time. Ball skitters out of bounds, and it belongs to Syracuse.
Okay, these first possessions, it's about assessing matchups. Get a feel for the player you're covering or you're trying to get to the goal against. What's their size like? What's their speed like? Coaches are also taking inventory.
Offside against Syracuse. It'll be Hopkins the other way.
If they push it, could have an opportunity.
What are the matchups you're watching today, Q?
Well, how does Syracuse defend the Hopkins first midfield? Right now we'll see the Jays come out with their second midfield, but how do you cover a guy like Matt Collison? How do you cover a great passer like Brooks English or Chuck Rawson?
Second midfield for the second week in a row is Eric Chick, number 10. Liam Gregorick, who's got the ball now, number 7. And the freshman David Desquis, 34. Hopkins scored 14 goals against Virginia, and the week before at Carolina, one of the best in the country, just 9 goals. That shot from Ayers is too tall, 41 to shoot. Eiler is the trigger man. He's watched by Riley Figueres, one of the best in the ACC, 11 in orange. Goal line extended, it's Gregorick.
Hopkins has been a great passing team so far this season. Only 16 unassisted goals after 5 games.
The top 5 in the country, more than 9 assists per game. Chauvet yanked it a little too much. Chauvet, number 91, is one of the best shooters in America.
He is, but his feet typically need to be set for him to unleash that left-handed cannon. On the run, not as effective.
On the invert. Single digits to shoot. Bowen stands up. Chick. Around the horn it goes with 3 on the timer. They'll just send it in the direction of the goal, and Syracuse forces a violation.
Outstanding defense. It's an Orange D. Their short stick defensive midfielders this year have been picked on, but Dante Bowen standing tall in that possession. Coordinator John O'Derna and that unit ranked number 10 in the country in defensive efficiency. Their close defense has been outstanding.
Here comes Billy Dwan. He is a close defenseman and a threat to score. That one goes wide, but backed up by Finn Thompson. Dwan has scored twice this year, including the equalizer at Penn on Sunday.
Huge goal last week up at Franklin Field. He's a creator in the midfield, and this is a special game for Billy Dwan III. His dad was a Hopkins Blue Jay.
Got a procedure against Syracuse. They had a man coming out of the box early.
Those are stingers.
Sets up Chauvet. There's that patented low-to-high shot from the wing with his feet set. Reset the shot clock.
Hopkins has 2 failed clears. Syracuse has 2 violations on clears, an offsides and then a legal procedure.
He's leveled out 5 minutes into this game. Lone goal belongs to Luke Roa in meeting number 64 between Syracuse and Johns Hopkins.
It's a nice trail check. This Hopkins first midfield, they can really pass it. Rawson's got 8 assists. English, 25. He's got 11 assists. And then Collison has balanced stats at 10 goals and 8 assists. I get the feeling, talking to John O'Derna, that Syracuse will be slow to double team.
Well, there is a slide. It ends up with Eiler behind the crease, 25 to shoot, and a Hopkins turnover. Scooped up by Jordan Beck, the senior from Towson, Maryland. A lot of Syracuse players hail from this area. You could say that about pretty much every team in the sport. Here is Jake Spallina, brother of Joey, takes the shot. And the backup again to Thompson. There is a little of that transition. We talked about that. That's what Gary Gait wants to see from his team. Don't get bogged down in the 6-on-6 every time. Leo, always a threat.
He's a left-hander.
Here's Hoddle. Had the helper on Roa's opening goal.
Hopkins pulls Hoddle.
Yeah, Peter Milliman told us Hoddle's become a real challenge with his speed. Spallina has the good matchup he likes against a short stick. Spallina to his left hand. Shot was deflected before it made it to the cage. It'll stay here with 28 on the timer for Syracuse.
It's a nice matchup for the Orange here as well. Anderson, Bear Anderson's got a shorty.
Peyton Anderson, the sophomore, 6'2", 228. And an error with the pass unforced. Hopkins ball.
Nice defense by the Blue Jays, especially holding true in that matchup against Spallina when he pressed the corner.
Here is the solo captain for Johns Hopkins, number 6, Quentin Kilrain. He's going to stay and play.
Defensive-based game thus far. Kind of like these teams exchanging jabs, and you wonder when this game's going to open up. There's too much offensive firepower for it not to.
Second midfield back out there for Hopkins. Out top, it's Eric Chick. On the wing, air. Scooped up behind the cage. From the Bay Area of California. Nice move, inside dodge, it's off the crossbar. And he was in the crease, Syracuse ball.
That was creative.
Hold on a second.
That was creative by Eiler. He went to the twister and rattled that one off the crossbar. And then fell into the crease, and that was the whistle. He's shifty.
Well, just like Ayers, those guys, a nightmare to deal with.
Tell you, for the Orange, you're looking for guys like Matt McEntee and Bo Kahn to get things going offensively.
Here's Charlie Crafson. Got a lot of speed and shifts. Lost his footing on this turf at Homewood. We're past the midway point of the first quarter. Anderson trying to make something happen. The swim.
Nice defense. Both on ball and with their double teams. That was well-timed, good angles, and really disruptive D.
Hopkins allows 10 goals a game on the season. Syracuse just over 8, which is a top 10 mark in Division I. Both teams coming off electrifying comebacks. Collison drew some attention, gave it up. Now whistle, it goes against Hopkins, Syracuse ball.
Trouble here with Dwan. Tell you, that's the 5th elementary mistake.
Thompson's all alone in front of the goal, and he finishes on a feed from Spallina.
That's just a killer if you're Johns Hopkins. That's like free money. Free money here in Baltimore. For Joey Spallina and Finn Thompson, a turnover equals a run out. Gary Gait told us we want to push the tempo in transition and watch it as the Orange connect old school here. Suddenly there's a whistle. Up the field, they push. Hopkins bails out to the substitution box. They get back on defense, but they're disjointed. Orange up 2-0 here in Baltimore as they click.
Another day. Same pain, same meds, same struggling for symptom relief. Injections like Humira and Enbrel work similarly to treat moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. But if your symptoms haven't improved enough, Rinvoq works differently. It's a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve RA and PSA joint pain, stiffness, and swelling, as fast as 2 weeks for some. Even after 3 years, many people felt this relief. In PSA, Rinvoq can leave skin noticeably clearer.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events, infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Do something different. Ask your doctor if switching to Rinvoq is right for you.
Well, Gary Gate knows all about this Syracuse-Hopkins rivalry. And Quinn, so do you. I mean, you were on the sideline for Gary Gate's first college game, and it was against Hopkins.
Yeah, Gary and I were peers. We graduated the same years, and Gary and Paul showed up wearing number 38 and number 39. They were not on the scouting report, 2 freshmen from British Columbia. And Gary scored his first goal against my college roommate, Dave Howland, on a cut. And Dave had an old heavy wooden stick. He broke it in half over Gary's arms. He comes off to the sideline. He goes, I hit that guy as hard as I could, and my stick broke on his shoulder. And he just winced it off and went in and scored.
Didn't bother him at all.
Little did we know that later in that year, Gary would be averaging 5 goals per game, taking Syracuse to championship weekend where they lost in the semis to Cornell.
That was John Mullen right off the faceoff taking the shot. Orange Elias making the save, his 3rd of this first quarter. For Hopkins, it's been sloppy offensively.
Well, they're offsides again.
Yeah, Gary Gate
got away with
begging for a call. They didn't get away with it. Offsides against the Blue Jays.
This is a clinic on routine mistakes that could prove costly.
That is their 7th turnover already. They're 0 for 6 shooting. And both of the Orange's goals off of Blue Jay turnovers.
Gary, I should add, when he was the women's coach at Maryland, an assistant there for Cindy Timtro. He lived in Baltimore right up the road here in Mount Washington for 15 years, so he's very familiar with this community.
You know he's familiar because they got Sammy's last night.
Sammy's to go. Sammy's a big Hopkins fan. I'd be careful with that, though. You got to give the red shirts and the freshmen the first taste to make sure it's okay.
Michael Jordan pizza in Utah situation that led to the flu game, maybe? Looks like Syracuse is healthy here. Shot clock down to 35, under 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Goals for Syracuse by Thompson in transition, and Roa had the first. Peyton Anderson loads it up. Jelinas has 4 saves, made 12 of them in relief last week, and then nearly another turnover as Thompson deflected the pass. Jelinas in trouble. Got knocked out of bounds, but still got it to a teammate. They have 5 seconds to clear, and they do.
Trouble.
Carson Brown in danger there.
He's over and back.
Over and back. Turnover number 8 against the home team here in the first.
Fast restarts. Danger.
Spallina's shot. Jelinas saw it all the way.
Fast top hand by Jelinas, the Boston native.
Yeah, he and McCool, Syracuse goalie, both Boston guys. I know Jimmy is a big Celtics fan, fired up about last night. Jason Tatum returning for the 18-time world champs. Here is Matt Collison. Q mentioned off the top Spallina, potential first overall draft pick into PLL. Collison will probably be a first rounder too.
Absolutely.
Around the horn it goes.
There are times, Drew, I think that Collison's a little underutilized in this offense. He's that good. He can attack you from up top, the wing. He can play inside. He's got the big outside cannon. He plays indoor, so he's excellent in tight spaces. They need 16 to initiate more often.
He'll play pro indoor and outdoor. Shot clock inside 20. Here he is, Collison at 6'4", big lefty, bounces it in. Right on cue, Matt Collison takes matters into his own hands and puts Hopkins on the board.
The lefty from Ontario is agile. I just think there's more there with Matt Collison. take control. He's got the ability to keep it simple too, Drew. This is just a downhill alley dodge with a straight overhand bouncer. That ain't nobody on the planet's going to make this save, I'll tell you that. Whether it's college or pro, that ball tucks in the corner. That's a thing of beauty.
What do you call Matt Collison?
Big country. See if that sticks. There he is. He's an exceptional student as well, who kind of flirted with going to law school, but he's done really well academically. He's got many options when his time here on the Homewood campus is done.
Yeah, might go into finance, might go into real estate. He'll be a three-sport athlete. He'll play indoor lacrosse, outdoor lacrosse, and then finance or real estate. Pick your poison. John Mullen finding a bit of a groove at the face-off X. That's what Syracuse wanted to see, but he couldn't win it clean. And Hopkins takes it away. Now they have to clear, which shockingly has been an issue for them in this first quarter. Mullen on the scoop, sets up Spallina. Jelinas pestered him. And it looks like it's a push on Spallina. Flag flies, our first of the day.
For as poorly as Johns Hopkins has played to start this game with the 7 turnovers, the offsides violations, they're only down 2-1. So they've hung around by playing ferocious defense.
30, reset 80. Orange 22 push, tackle 30. Good guy.
So Spallina to the box.
Scrapping and hustling. Spallina taking a chunk out of Quentin Kilrain's elbow, and they call that a push with possession. Kilrain doing an amazing job of holding that ball in his stick. Both these teams have great extra man units. Hopkins comes in at 56%. Syracuse is at 50%. And penalties have been an issue for the Orange this season. That's their 26th penalty. And now we're in game 7. Pete Milliman of Hopkins emphasized to us how important he thought the specialties may be in this game.
Hopkins a man up for 30 seconds. You mentioned their percentage 56, which is 8th best in the country. Keep an eye on Chauvet, 91 in white and blue. He's got 3 man-up goals to lead the way. Here he is on that wing he likes. 10 seconds left on the penalty. Syracuse maintaining the shape with 5 defenders. Last couple seconds before Spallina is released. Here we go back to 6-on-6. Chauvet saved by McCool. Nearly batted in by Rawson. It'll remain here on the backup.
It's good defense by the Orange. Chauvet gets his look, and McCool, the big lefty. Man, you talk about courage. You talk about kind of a psychotic job description. It's standing in front of that kind of heat.
Rawson dispossessed. Great back check by Tyler McCarthy. A true two-way midi. Kind of a throwback for Syracuse. From X, English missed the cage. Syracuse ball. It was Dylan Seguider winning the run out. Seguider really a man-down specialist at his long stick position.
Junkyard Dogs get the job done. That's the nickname of that man-down unit.
And Dwan clears it at a 15-second split. Shot clock and game clock. Both teams have taken 10 shots. Jelinas has already made 5 saves. Collision at midfield. It'll be Hopkins' ball after the over and back. Roa got hit. The Blue Jays can take this all the way down, take the final shot of the quarter.
Winning the last minute of quarters is essential, especially in close games. Watch the hidden ball trick. 51's got it. Chuck Rawson. Hopkins has pulled off 2 hidden ball tricks this season. One against Loyola, one against North Carolina. Get off your phone and pay attention. Play with heightened senses. Communicate who's got the ball. inexcusable, Drew. It just drives me nuts.
You're always all over the hidden ball, dating back to Joel Tinney. Speaking of Hopkins.
The second you get off the bus, you got one job. It's to follow the ball. That's it.
Get off your phones. Eiler operating. Out top. Chick. 10 seconds left in the quarter. And a turnover by Hopkins. That's their 9th of the first 15 minutes. And 5 seconds left for Syracuse.
Long distance.
Yep, Dewan rips it, and there's the horn. So a 2-1 score after an opening quarter that was sloppy by both teams.
Strong defense at both ends. A lot of emotion and energy. And Hopkins, after playing poorly, leaned on Orange Linus, their goalie, and they're lucky they're down only 2-1.
Yeah, Orange Linus against the Orange makes 5 saves in the first 15 minutes. Syracuse leads it 2-1, getting out in transition. Good start in an old rivalry.
Another day. Same pain, same meds, same struggling for symptom relief. Injections like Humira and Enbrel work similarly to treat moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. But if your symptoms haven't improved enough, Rinvoq works differently. It's a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve RA and PSA joint pain, stiffness, and swelling, as fast as 2 weeks for some. Even after 3 years, many people felt this relief. In PSA, Rinvoq can leave skin noticeably clearer.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events, infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant, or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Do something different. Ask your doctor if switching to Rinvoq is right for you.
You want to compare it to the Red Sox and the Yankees, the memories that are conjured up when you hear Hopkins against Syracuse.
Blue Jays won the NCAA championship.
It's over! The Orange wins the national championship!
The 2 winningest programs in the sport of lacrosse.
That they are 11 NCAA championships for Syracuse, 9 for Johns Hopkins, the 2 winningest programs ever. Hopkins won, Syracuse 2. They've met in the national championship 5 times, but the interesting thing, Quint, is neither team has won a national championship in over a decade and a half.
And both programs are intent upon getting back not only to championship weekend, but hosting that gold trophy. The standard of excellence goes hand in hand with whether it's Syracuse lacrosse dating back to Roy Simmons Jr. and their first championship back in 1983. A rousing comeback against Hopkins at Rutgers. I was a 9th grader. I was at that game. Hopkins was up by 7 goals, 12-5. Cuse comes back in a high-scoring 17-16. An epic game.
And you still said, I want to go to Hopkins.
No, I was
Syracuse.
a Syracuse fan at that game. I thought the Hopkins band was a little annoying, actually.
Hopkins eventually claims that face-off, the opening one of the second quarter. 9 turnovers for the Blue Jays and a couple failed clears in the first. Uncharacteristic, one of the best clearing teams in the land to this point.
The good news, though, you're only down 2-1. Last week in Charlottesville, they were down 7 goals before they started playing. So you wondered how Hopkins would show up today, how they would play coming off that just emotional, epic win.
Collison gets it back. He's got the 1 goal. He's got both for the Blue Jays. There's a reason this guy's a 3-time All-American.
He is so good because there's little different wrinkles to his game. Earlier, it's a speed dodge left-handed. Watch the professional level of deception on this leaner finish. McCool takes the littlest dip. And if you watch the PLL, that's the Pro League, you realize that most of the shooters come with some level of trickeration. Watch it here. Little twister, little leaner. You'll see the goalie shift to the goalie's right there, and drops his hands. Matt Collison's got all the answers. He's the best player on the field right now.
And he bobbled it when he caught that pass. It was his own personal hidden ball trick. He did it himself. Kept it and scored. He's got both Hopkins goals, both unassisted which is also uncharacteristic for Johns Hopkins, one of the best passing teams in the country.
Mullen looks like he's dialed in today at the face-off dot for Syracuse. Big numbers last season, has been struggling with the whistle this year. Had 18 false start violations coming into this game. That's 3 per game. So of the face-offs he's taken, if he doesn't violate, he's winning at like 70%. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was 63% last year, good enough to earn some All-American honors. But Nick Acquaviva, their assistant coach who works with the face-off guys, said Mullen has had maybe some antsiness dealing with the whistle. Looks like he's found it today, and it leads to another Syracuse goal. It's Finn Thompson on the feed from Spallina. Stop me if you've heard that before.
These guys have just amazing chemistry. Thompson will find himself covered by a short stick, number 40, Colhoun. And people assume you want to dodge a shorty. Well, they also want to cut against a short stick defensive midfielder because they don't have the range to trail check you. And you see Thompson cuts right-handed. He creates enough separation. Colhoun with that normal midfield stick can't reach him. And it's an easy finish for Thompson, whose game has perked up. I thought Thompson was excellent last week at Penn.
Yeah, had a hat trick in that comeback victory for Syracuse. As the Orange respond in under a minute, 46 seconds between those last 2 goals. Hobart the win for Hopkins on the faceoff.
Hobart's probably on a pitch count today. Still hobbled a bit. They hope to maybe get 10 faceoffs out of him. Hopkins has, what, 5 or 6 Fogos on this roster? It's crazy. Face-off, get off, fear of getting old, Fogo, an acronym. But 5 guys on your roster who can face off. Do you really need 5 Fogos?
They actually have 6 on the roster.
That's crazy.
And 5 goalies. 6 face-off guys, and they've used pretty much all of them with Hobart on the shelf. Rawson's shot missed it wide. 44 on the shot clock for Hopkins as Chavette goes to grab it. Hunter Chavette, 16 goals, 0 assists this season. He is a pure shooter.
It's a Paul Carcaterra stat line.
On fire, Q. Here is Ayers. $15 to shoot. Ayers out top. Chavette keeps it moving. Chuck Rawson, whose younger brother Ted plays for Syracuse, stood up with 5 and a Ward. That's Syracuse ball.
Orange, other than in their coverage of Matt Collison, they're winning all the individual matchups on the perimeter right now.
That is 10 turnovers for Hopkins.
Nice.
Great ball movement. It's Billy Dwan again. 3rd goal of the year for the close defenseman.
That is huge. That is huge. Goals have not been coming easily lately for Syracuse. They've been grinding teams out in the half-field sets. Gary told us specifically, we're going to push the tempo. We've got to find ways to score outside the 6-on-6. So the green light is on here on Charles Street. An aggressive pass. And how about the unselfish dish? It's Thompson to his long pole teammate, Dwan III, for his 3rd goal of the season.
And that's a special one for Billy Dwan here, playing at Homewood Field in college for the first time. His dad, Bill, longtime assistant coach here after he was a player as well.
Very similar players. Billy Dwan was a teammate of mine for 3 years. We were roommates for a bit after college. Very similar. Hockey mentality, willing to scrap it up, but very creative and wants to flow down the field and be a goal scorer and get involved with the rush.
Billy III went to Loyola Blakefield. Now a senior and a captain at Syracuse and a close defenseman with 3 goals. And it's early March. Impressive stuff from number 35. 2 goals in a minute 32 for the Orange, and they've got possession again. Second midfield line is out there. Here's Bogue Hahn. Freshman feeds Spallina, ducks inside and scores! 3 in a row for the Orange. This is what Gary Gate was looking for. They're playing some Syracuse lacrosse.
Mini mosh pit on the Syracuse sideline. Celebrate. Spallina's not the fastest cat in the world, but I tell you what, he's determined. He gets inside. He's got strong shoulders. He's got great traction to the ground, and he wins the body game. Watch him turn the corner here. Watch him choppy, turn the corner, protect his stick, soak up those checks, and maintain his focus on that far corner.
Syracuse finding a rhythm offensively. Timeout. Hopkins, 11:14 to play in the second quarter. Syracuse with 3 in a row.
I'm coming for you. Cue up the spotlight. Drum up the beat right. You want it so bad, go get it, I dare ya.
Welcome to the greatest show on earth. And it is again, Lavinia Mal. Sensational from Mbappe. With deadly efficiency. What a finish. There's a stupendous goal. A very big argument that he is the best player on the planet.
Orange come in ranked number 10 in the country, and they've exploded for 3 straight. Thompson from Spallina, a little inside look. This has kind of been the difference in this game, their ability to run in transition. They have scored twice, going from defense to offense, and then Joey Spallina, he's got 3 points in this ball game. He's upped. What I love about Joey is you know how much he cares. He's a guy that stays after practice. He gets there early. He's going to put in the extra time to do the extra shooting. And that is carried over, Drew, to the rest of this roster. He said when he first got to campus, it was just him. And now after practice, there's 15 or 20 guys putting in the extra reps. He's changed the culture. He has elevated the program.
Well, that's what happens when your best player is your hardest worker, right? People kind of fall in line.
You see that at every level. You see that at every level, whether it's high school. We see it here at the college level. You see it in the NBA. But those star players will really drive your culture, right?
Absolutely. Off another Mullen face-off win, Syracuse a chance to add to this run. Those 3 goals in a row came in a 2:21 span. A deficit, nothing new for Hopkins.
No, but with John Mullen facing off as effectively as he is, it's kind of like a little bit of a blockade you put up with extra possession potential.
Roa from that sharp angle, bounces it wide, 43 to shoot as Leo tracks it down. Orange with a 5-4 edge at the face-off X.
Roa wants his right. He's a dangerous distance shooter. Leo, 7 in Orange, is a lefty. It's a good matchup for Peyton Anderson.
Against the shorty, Reese DeChico, who's been a cheat code this year for Johns Hopkins. Ridiculous stats for a shorty.
Quick double there by Hopkins. That was an effective defense.
And Jelinas ends up with it. Kilrain got leveled on the crease.
If I can say that Anderson has matchup superiority, but then you see the defense go and rotate, that's really good coaching, and it's great acknowledgement by the defense. They're all on the same page. They too realize their guy's got an issue.
Kilrain dispossessed. Ball is live. DeChico in there, 18 in white and
Kilrain got jacked.
Still up
Look
for grabs.
out.
Kilrain has hit the turf 3 times in the last 30 seconds all over the field. Here comes Hoddle with speed. Syracuse on the move again. Roa, the catch. Tried to throw it in one hand, and he's on the crease.
What a catch by Roa, and somehow almost got that shot off. That little big boy lacrosse, the ball's on the ground. You look out.
But again, Syracuse aggressive, going from defense to offense. Look at that catch by Roa.
Tough catch, but he's out of balance right there. He tries to plant and stay out of the crease and shoot that one-handed.
Heck of an effort. It's Eiler at X. looking for an option.
Hopkins' attack has had 0 offensive impact in this game.
Collison's the guy with both goals, 16 in white. He switched on to Jordan Beck. Chuck Rawson, defended by the shorty Bowen. Shot never made it through. Another transition chance for Syracuse. Look at the wheels on Vinny Bolnino. Ends up with Thompson. He shoots, and Jelinas slams the door.
Jelinas is steady as a rock. We got a penalty against Johns Hopkins coming up. It'll be against Collison. Something happened behind the play. Jelinas continues to, against Syracuse. It was against Collison. Hidden ball trick.
Hidden ball
It's up
again.
by the midfield, Drew.
Yep, 25. I'm off my phone, paying attention. And Syracuse all over it as Desquis gets it to Gregorick out of the box. Trying to use those wheels to get by Kittelberger, the short stick. Saved by McCool. Shot clock back to 60. Out top, Desquis, the roll. Chauvet from a mile away. You could hear that thing whistling from up here, and we'll finally get the penalty.
Interference. Shot clock, 60.
It's interference, and it's Spallina again, so he'll serve his second penalty of the first half.
He's got a little bit of a timeshare going on in that penalty box. Part of the effort component at Joey Spallina is he's going to stir it up. He's going to make things happen. He's going to try his guts out to make a play. You'll see in front right there, he just bumps Collison, hits him the second time. Hits it the second time. Now, who knows what the history is? Both Spallina and Collison playing summer box up in Canada. Could be some history, Drew. Usually is. I still got names of guys I need to get back.
Hopkins back to the man up 0 for 1 there today. Already halfway through this 32nd penalty. Here is Brooks English, one of their best passers. Collison right back to him. And there it is. They cash it in with the extra man. Chuck Rawson ends the 3-0 Syracuse run.
They'll make you pay, and the band will play. You can't foul this team. They're just too slick on the extra man. Hovering around 60% for the season. This is a certain way. High slot area. Rawson, the quick catch and finish. He's actually covered pretty well. Just not as disruptive as you need to be with that shooter's hands, his follow-through, or his vision. Your closeout has got to be more disruptive.
You still think the band's annoying?
No, I've grown to love the band.
Oh, sure you have.
It's one of my favorite parts of coming here.
This just went to Brooks English, his 12th of the year, tops on the team.
That band showed up for the Robert Morris game. It was like 26 degrees. They had limited seating, and there's 6 members of the band here 2 hours early. Arctic weather, hammering it out in an early February game.
That's dedication. And today's not balmy, mid-50s, cloudy. The inside roll, Chick nearly had a good look. It'll stay here.
I think last week's win at Charlottesville shows you about the mental makeup of this Hopkins team. I like their body language all season long. I think they're very positive as a group. And they didn't quit in that game, and they rallied. And I think you'll see the same type of behavior today.
Well, they were down 12-8 entering the fourth quarter, which was the same exact score they were facing against Carolina the week before. In that game, the Tar Heels ended up winning 17-9. And the very next week against Virginia, the Blue Jays came back and won.
And especially in the context of last season, where once they started losing, they just kept losing. They lost their last 6 games. They never were able to turn it around. In a microcosm, we saw that turnaround last week.
Just 6 to shoot. Hopkins last year started 6-2, then dropped their last 6 games, including all 5 in the Big Ten. They'll open up Big Ten play against Michigan in a couple of weeks. Before that, it's Navy next weekend. Played shot clock, and The Blue Jays will take the violation and set up their defense. Orange with the clear. Matt McEntee brings it across.
Offside Syracuse.
Offside, man. Another sloppy clear. That's 8 turnovers for Syracuse compared to 12.
Trouble here
for Johns Hopkins. Can the Blue Jays take advantage?
I thought Eiler passed up a chance. Chauvet looked like he was open on the near side.
And when Chauvet's open on that side of the field, you want to find him. Five minutes to play until halftime. In the 64th meeting between these foes. First met over a century ago in 1921. That was a 4-4 tie. The only draw in series history. Syracuse has won the last 2. 5-5 in the last 10. Collison's shot goes high.
The two teams, they didn't really play much in the 60s and 70s. And then the Orange, Roy Simmons Jr., the success of the West Jenny program in the Dome corresponded with Syracuse making a run to that national championship in '83. And all of a sudden, Hopkins had to respect him, Drew.
On the crease, you got to respect that finish from Hunter Chauvet. Goes to the twister and makes this a 1-goal game.
That's a stinger if you're an Orange fan. You go off sides, it leads to that possession. You got to be kidding me. Rawson, double team, kind of drawn. Chauvet finds a pocket. He finds a little air of space inside. And look at the creative finish. He goes to the full twister. Tell you, these college players nowadays, they have all sorts of different finishes. It's not only about changing hands, but it's changing release points.
Clean win for Hobart. Hopkins can tie it here. McCool has other ideas. He gave his team a little calm down gesture after back-to-back Blue Jays goals. Figueres brings it across. Leo on the sprint. A lot of contact, saved by Jelinas.
Good defense by Luke Martin, 13 in white.
Martin, an impressive player, bumped down to close defense last week in the comeback win against Virginia, playing there again today. 7 saves for Jelinas. Hopkins again looking for the tie.
Nice sellout by Figueres.
Yeah, all over it. Chauvet still has it, though. Collison watched by Dwan. Bogan playing defense here against Chuck Rawson, who's got a goal and an assist. Now it's Brooks English, gets to the middle, tried to feed Ayers.
It was there.
Bothered.
Bowen got picked off. Defense had to rotate.
Now Rawson gets inside another twister. 18 on the timer as Eiler will start it from X. One of that physical dodge inside roll on Figueres, but he missed it. 10 to shoot, quick restart, and English went a little too quickly. 5 to shoot. Bogan playing great defense, and that's Syracuse ball.
Orange dig in and get it done defensively under a lot of pressure there. Those are the type of defensive possessions, though, that will zap your energy a bit. So it's important with 2:35 that Syracuse generate kind of a steady and prolonged possession.
Step 1, the clear, successful.
Step 2, don't go off sides.
It's been an issue for him. Anderson running out of the box. Against the shorty. Roa, the long-range shot.
So they keep Leo 7 down at attack. They run Anderson out of the box.
Gary Gates been mixing and matching.
Still trying to find the magic, right?
Offensive coordinator Pat March. Oh, Spallina picks up the loose change and slots it home. 2 goals and 2 assists for number 22 in the first half.
Roa could get the assist here, Drew. I'm not sure that this was initially intended for Joey Spallina. If it was, I mean, he's seeing dead people because this was a miraculous pass. Watch him on the backside. There's Spallina all along because the defense is flowed upfield. The double team is drawn, the fill happens, and then the guy on the backside is going to be open. The ball just happens to make it all the way through, and Spallina's left with a one-on-one.
You see Spallina, he's been wearing that number since he arrived on campus.
Dad's in town. I think I see him up in the end zone. Stony Brook women play Johns Hopkins women tomorrow at 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Pretty convenient weekend for Coach Spallina, who had a big win, I believe, yesterday in Stony Brook against Denver in overtime. Stony Brook women having a strong season.
Shaping up to be a nice weekend for Joe. Also the GM of the California Redwoods in the PLL. Off the face-off win, Syracuse.
Redwoods getting a win last night, right?
Championship series.
Comeback action. The issue for Joe Spallina, GM of the Redwoods, they don't pick till number 7, so it's not like he can grab Joey right away.
Mullen trying to take the shot. Good trail check for Hopkins from Wari Calhoun.
The Utah Archers are on the clock.
Maybe Chris Bates would be amenable to a draft day trade. Give up a lot of capital to move up.
Trade picks with the Redwoods. Coach Spallina may throw in a boat or two. I take my boat, I'll trade draft picks with you.
Get his son on the Redwoods, I think he'd probably do it. There is Leo.
Clock now. Shot clock less than 20.
And final minute of the second quarter. Here he is, Joey Spallina. Goal line extended with 10 to shoot. The skip pass somehow got through to Leo. Jelinas made the save. Plenty of time for Hopkins to clear it and try to get the final shot of the half.
Jelinas steady as a rock. Low to low won't go. He snuffs that out. He's all over it. No level change, no dice.
Matt Collison can complete his hat trick in the first half, but Pete Milliman takes a timeout with 17.8 seconds until the intermission. What about the PLL and Joe Spallina maybe maneuvering on draft day? Reached out to our friend Paul Carcaterra for his big board. Here's what he came up with. 2 guys from this game in the top 4. Spallina at 1, Collison at 4.
I kind of agree with Paul in terms of the top 5. I'm not sure the exact order. You got to start talking needs, but Utah Archers and Chris Bates are on the clock right now. Aiden McGuire is a guy that I think his skill set as a defensive midfielder, as a two-way guy, will really translate in the pro league. He's a superstar athlete. You've seen what Collison can do. Weishar has been tearing it up. Now he's playing a lot of attack for Towson. He's a midi at the pro level, and he hasn't been covered by a shorty in a long time. He's explosive. He's got a burst, and he can get to the rack. So I think that the top of this draft is strong. I think this senior class probably is not as deep as recent years. To me, there's maybe 2 rounds of players who can play in the league, who can get on a dress roster. It is, you know, Drew, it's the pros are freaks. They're freaks. And if you're not a freak at something, you're not going to make the roster.
I mean, there are only 8 teams, and the rosters aren't that big.
That's exactly right.
Every game is an all-star game in the PLL. That's how it feels.
Champ Series will be on tonight, semifinal game on ESPN+. Check it out at 6s. It's really different. It's really fun and interesting. It's a high-tempo playmakers game. It's the format, or a similar format to what you see in the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028.
Yeah, dip your toe into 6s tonight. Try it on for size in a couple years you'll see it in the Olympics.
I love it. I mean, those guys are so good to see a Romar Dennis hit an outside shot, to see Trainer just abusing people off the dodge.
Unbelievable skill on the men's and women's side.
Hopkins is going to set up a play through X here with a double cut inside.
They got 5 seconds left in the first half. The roll back by Eiler. The shot goes high, and there's the horn on the second quarter. But a highly entertaining opening 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was nice coverage by Syracuse. They defended the wing dodge, and then off a double pick inside, they were trying to scrape a guy or curl a guy left-handed off that double pick. They're ready for the set play off the timeout.
2 winningest programs in the history of the sport, locking horns for the 64th time on a chilly day here in Baltimore. Syracuse with a 2-goal lead as we hit halftime at Homewood.
All you gotta do is go, what's up?
What's that?
Go practice.
Yes! Do not ask me how much longer.
How much longer, mamacita?
Bambi?
What do we do?
No more sad sack. Full on fun sack.
That's what I'm talking about.
Scratch coverage on ESPN.
Charlotte, it's been a crazy first month of the season in college lacrosse. Some nutty weather, a bunch of cancellations, but some insanely good moments as well. How about a little temperature check? In your mind, who is a player that's kind of climbing and on the rise?
I'm going with Maya Kendall from Dartmouth. She is averaging about 16 draw controls a game. And she set an Ivy League record with 24 against New Hampshire. If you're a draw taker, having anything near the number 10 is good. She is winning possession after possession. It's make it, take it.
For me, it's Ryan Croddick, the goalie from Princeton. Last weekend, he played Syracuse on Friday. He has 14 saves in the 11-7 win. 2 days later against UNC, he makes 25 saves, good from 74%, which is insane. With Princeton's skill on offense and this brick wall in the cage, Tigers could win it all. What's a recent highlight that has you saying, wow?
It was Alexa Spalina's behind the back against Boston College. This behind the back where she comes up the hash from X. She feels out the leverage, the pressure front side from her defender, and she goes behind the back on one of the best goalies in the nation, in Shea Dolce.
For me, it's not some crazy goal like you'd think. The Blue Jays short stick defensive midfielder, Reese DeChico, comes up with an incredible ground ball and somehow a perfect pass to trigger transition for the tying goal. And the Jays make it 12-12, and they end up winning that game by 1. He also leads Hopkins in ground balls and calls turnovers. Go, Reese.
Who's a team in 2026 that you are not surprised about?
You might be surprised by my answer, but it's Richmond. This year, they returned 6 of their top 8 scorers, including Lucas Littlejohn and Aiden O'Neill. They are doubling up teams statistically, and Paul Richard, their defensive coordinator, has that unit suffocating opponents. They might have the most complete team in the nation right now, and they are looking to win a national title.
I don't think you're going to be surprised by my answer. It is the Stanford Cardinal out on the West Coast, having a historic season already. This season, they returned 95% of their production from last year. And then they add Mallory Hasselbeck, a transfer from Boston College, and Annabelle Frisk comes back from injury as their main draw taker and an absolute force in the midfield. And then they have their returning goalkeeper, Lucy Pearson. I can't wait to see what the Cardinal do the rest of the season. What is the game that you are looking forward to the most coming up in the next few weeks?
It's March 14th in Charlotte under the lights. It's UNC against Penn State. This game is going to be super high scoring. And when Selection Sunday comes in May, this is going to be one of those games, Charlotte, where it could be a league tilter for the ACC or the Big Ten in terms of who wins this one.
I'm going with March 25th. I think the matchup that everybody has their eyes on, and that is North Carolina and Northwestern. You've got talent everywhere. You've got people who are used to scoring 4, 5, 6 goals a game, and you've got an epic battle at the draw control as well. March 25th is a matchup that no lacrosse fan wants to miss.
Temperatures rising.
Nothing can stop us now. I don't know how it can be any better. We'll travel hand in hand across this wonderland to strike up the marching band, 'cause nothing can stop us now.
Don't wait to make memories that last a lifetime during the 70th celebration at the happiest place on earth.
Hockey is here. The Spinorama's here. Intensity coming in hot here. The final playoff push and the Stanley Cup final. Oh, it's here, baby, on ESPN.
It is halftime here in Baltimore. One of the best rivalries in the sport, Syracuse visiting Johns Hopkins. We'll be back with stats and highlights right after this. Welcome back to beautiful Baltimore, where Syracuse leads Johns Hopkins by a couple of goals at halftime, as two of the oldest rivalries in the sport renew it for the 64th time. This one here at Homewood Field for the first time since 2022. Drew and Q back with you. And Quint, uncharacteristic first half for Johns Hopkins in a couple respects. Failed clears and a lot of turnovers.
A couple self-inflicted wounds that I think led to some extra Syracuse possession time. Joey Spallina for the Orange has been excellent, and I think a couple transition goals sprinkled in have to have Gary Gate having some positive vibes at halftime.
Yeah, that's what Gary Gate was telling us during the week, is they want to get back to playing some Syracuse lacrosse, which includes getting out of the 6-on-6 and scoring in transition. Having John Mullen win faceoff certainly helped that. But on the Johns Hopkins side, this is one of the best team in the country at protecting the ball, and they just didn't do that in the first.
Yeah, uncharacteristic. Their clearing has been at 94% on the season. They've struggled in that regard today, and the offsides violations will sting you. They've just given Syracuse too much ball time with sloppy turnovers, whether it be simple passes that get knocked down, whether it be offsides violations, poor shot selection. The good news is you're only down 2 goals. Joey Spallina's been impactful, whether it be down low, in transition, his eyes are always up, or finishing inside. Syracuse's best player, one of the best players in the country, has brought his A game to Homewood Field. This is a big stage for a college player. You come here, you want to show well. These fans are super intelligent. There's a lot of important people in the house, and it's kind of like coming to Rockefeller Center in New York. Like, you only play so many games on Homewood Field as a visiting player. You want to show well.
Lights are bright here. This is first and only trip to Homewood as a collegiate player. 26 shots for Hopkins despite all the turnovers.
I think if you're Hopkins, you want to attack the short stick defensive midfielders of Syracuse. Orange defense, 10th in the country in efficiency. The shorties are the weak link. And you might want to use some two-man games, that is, get the ball behind the net and start seeing what it looks like if you invert this Syracuse D.
4 saves for Jimmy McCool, one of the best netminders in America.
And Gary Gate is always Mr. Cool as the Orange coach. I think the challenge for him right now is, hey, we got to continue to push transition. Take it if it's there. Let's push things. We like that. Defensively, Gary would probably emphasize, hey, Matt Collison, if he pushes to the net, the double team's got to be there, and we've got to show and get out and impact the hands of Hunter Chauvette. Chauvette had 6 against Virginia last week. Syracuse overall has done a nice job at limiting Hunter's looks.
It's a clean win for Mullen in the opening faceoff of the third quarter. It was an even split 6-6 in the first half.
He's been impressive. Johnny Mullen struggled early on in that Penn game. He finished that game, though, playing really well in the fourth quarter.
And Joe Hobart just limped off for Hopkins. Remember, he missed the last 2 games with an injury. Hobart is their top faceoff guy, so we'll keep an eye on number 28 in white and Hopkins blue. There is Michael Leo after the toe drag. A nice check by Luke Martin. A takeaway for the Blue Jays.
Numbers.
And now they get out and run.
Trailer.
Calhoun keeps it moving. Ends up with the Chico. Now at X, Charlie Eiler kept off the score sheet in the first half. Feed to the middle, Calhoun couldn't handle it. He scored a goal, hit the first of his career last week at Virginia. 40 and white. Now he runs off, and here is Matt Collison. Scored the first 2 for Johns Hopkins today. One of the best midfielders in the country. Jimmy Ayers, defended by the freshman Jaden Kittleberger, who did a nice job, forced the turnover.
I'd like to see Ayers turn the corner and take that one to the rack. I thought he had a step, and he looked to feed first, and instead of turning the corner and getting to pay dirt, getting to in front of the goal. I thought it was there for him.
And you see in the bottom right part of your screen, 13 turnovers a game for Hopkins. This one leads to another goal for Billy Dwan. Second of the day for the close defenseman.
Senior, 3 goals a year ago, comes into this game with a pair of tallies, including a huge goal last week against Penn. And here he is running the break. And I'm like, man, you can't let this go from this range. This is from 15 plus. Stick side. Jelinas just whiffs on it. That's from 15, Drew. Jelinas goes down to the splits and doesn't really see it. His right hand needs to be out a little further, and he's got to get his eye on that ball. But that ball coming out of a long defensive pole can be deceptively tough to find.
That's worth 2 at the next level from that range. There's that violation. First one of the day for Mullen, right? He had 18 coming into this game. Chauvet trying to get to his spot. Gives it to Ayers instead. He has been quiet today. He's got 10 and 5 on the year. Nothing so far.
Hopkins attacked, 1 goal. Collison's got 2. Rawson's got 1. Just no presence behind the net for this offense.
Resets the shot clock to 60. Russell Melendez transferred to Ohio State this year. Hopkins filling that void, but a young team. Ayers rips it, and it went wide.
It's a nice look. There's a little communication issue for the Orange. Both Nino and Dwan sorting that out when the ball goes out of bounds.
Rawson to Chauvet, and now with Brooks English. The skip pass. Rawson defended by Jake Spallina. One of the excellent short stick middies for Syracuse. Collison's shot bounces and saved by McCool. This could be another run out. Maybe it's Dwan. He goosed it to Spallina.
That was nice.
Yep, Syracuse stays on side. Spallina brings it across and then flips it to the wrong side of midfield.
Spallina kind of panicked there. Hopkins doesn't have numbers, but now you're going to be attacking a tired Syracuse defense. So this is a grade 1 opportunity as Hopkins will roll out their second midfield. Syracuse's defense has been structurally really sound. Defense is played in pairs and in triangles in terms of communication. Always talking to the adjacent defender.
Did you major in geometry here?
Well, the system's got to work. They're like gears. They're all attached. All your defenders are attached. Constant communication.
The Syracuse system is humming now.
So let's say Paul's our stat guy. Drew, you're in the middle. If I go and I slide to this camera, you've got my back, but Paul has to have your back.
Oh.
The 3 of us have to work together.
Almost like on a string.
That's exactly right.
You have to be in unison like the band here at Homewood Field.
Don't stop believing.
Nice skip, a toe drag, and McCool's got the answer. Disquee with a great move. Jimmy McCool makes the save.
McCool trying to fire up his defense, but they're gassed. They've played defense for about the last 5 minutes.
McCool officially with 6 saves. Might have a few more than that. Crease feed broken up. Gobbled up by Liam Gregorek.
Gary Gates staring at the shot clock like, is this possession ever going to end?
Hopkins has to feel like they'll break the seal soon, but Dante Bowen says you will not. A caused turnover by the short stick D-mid.
Orange D's been the difference in this game. Hopkins' shooting percentage not good at all today.
They have 4 goals on 31 shots.
It's less than 15%. It's hovering around 13%.
Here's Bogue Hahn with some wheels. You got to think Syracuse would love to take some time with possession here after playing defense for so long. Spallina against Carson Brown. Finds Finn Thompson on the crease. Now Leo. Dodging from the wing. Draws the slide. Still has the rock. Spallina keeps it hot. A save by Jelinas. Slammed the door on Hahn.
Hahn faked him low. Jelinas respects the low fake by going to the splits, but doesn't lose the integrity of the stick up and stuffs him from close range. It's a big time play in this game. Watch when stick on stick, he just matches up. Goes down to the splits.
Ayers faked out a couple of Syracuse defenders. Missed the shot wide. Some frustration from Jimmy Ayers.
1 goal from the Hopkins attack. It's Hunter Chauvet. Otherwise, bagels.
Here is Chuck Rawson. He's got a goal from the midfield. Now Ayers being more aggressive.
Reset or no reset?
That did not hit the goal. It was not saved. At 60 to shoot for Hopkins. Here is English, watched by Kittleberger. That bounces off the side of the net. McCool is locked in here in the third. Hahn playing both ways. They've got Rawson playing defense here. And Virginia looking to bounce back from the loss against Hopkins when they led 11-4 in the third quarter at Towson tonight. Here is Rowe, has scored the first goal of the game. Switches back to his left hand. Now Peyton Anderson on the roll and the swim. Keeps his eyes up after drawing 2. Rowe feeds the crease. Gobbled up by Carson Brown, the senior from Jersey. Now can Hopkins get something in transition? The fans here at Homewood can sense it. What a check. That was Wyatt Hoddle sprinting back.
Still got number anymore. Johns Hopkins has dominated possession time in this third quarter. They got nothing to show for it. They've been stuck on 4 since the late second quarter.
Gregorek. Now Disquee. Freshman defended by Spallina. DeSqueeze still has it.
DeSqueeze got a lot of upside, had a nice scrimmage against St. Joe's back in late January. The second midfield's been a little bit of a revolving door for Hopkins. He has stayed in the lineup the entire time. Talented hockey player from Syosset, Long Island.
Now it's Eiler.
I mean, what's the shooting been since halftime? McCool's put up the saran wrap on the goal.
5 on the shot clock. And Hopkins has to take another shot clock violation. Turnover number 15 for a team that averages 13 a game, which is best in the Big Ten and 6th in the country.
Pete Millman looking for answers. Trying to stay positive with his midfield. Hopkins in this quarter 0 for 11 shooting.
They're out shooting Syracuse 11-3, but the Orange have scored the lone goal of the third. This is Crafson, junior from Pennsylvania, lost by Liam Burke, the shorty. Into the stick of Spallina. Hahn after the pickup. Burke traps it in the crease. Jelinas in there for some support, and the goalie has it.
Jelinas is very poised. I give that young man a lot of credit. Was not the starter on day one here. Dash Lamity, the freshman, started. And Jelinas has come to the rescue many times.
Kilrain all the way. Sets it up for Eiler. And finally, Johns Hopkins breaks the seal in the third quarter. It was the captain, Quentin Kilrain, spoon-feeding the attackman, Charlie Eiler.
It started with a defensive stop all the way down by the goal. Jelinas handles his out, and Hopkins runs. They cross the midfield line. Kilrain super aggressive. He avoids the trail check, and there's Eiler. Hopkins back within 2 here at Homewood.
Another day. Same pain, same meds, same struggling for symptom relief. Injections like Humira and Enbrel work similarly to treat moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. But if your symptoms haven't improved enough, Rinvoq works differently. It's a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve RA and PSA joint pain, stiffness, and swelling, as fast as 2 weeks for some. Even after 3 years, many people felt this relief. In PSA, Rinvoq can leave skin noticeably clearer.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events, infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant, or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Do something different. Ask your doctor if switching to Rinvoq is right for you.
Gate close, one of the Gate brothers with a great fake, and he scores. That's number 38, Gary Gate, with his first U.S. college goal.
It was one of the Gate brothers, and everyone quickly learned to tell the two apart. Gary and Paul left such a legacy at Syracuse. Gary, arguably, maybe inarguably, the greatest lacrosse player of all time.
Definitely the best of his generation.
And that was his first career goal. Strange to see him wearing 38.
That was his first game. Next year they switched to 22 and 19, he and Paul. But 70 goals from the midfield. I mean, think about that. When he was in college, scored 70 goals
Nasty.
As a midfielder in one season. A great teammate. Gary and I were teammates with the Baltimore Thunder for 1 year. Gary was just an amazing teammate, really steady mindset, practice player, outstanding, everything you could ask for in a star player at a time where he was putting up 5 and 6 points on a night and getting ambushed and you know, beaten up on a routine basis. Never complained. Never saw him lose his composure once, Drew.
There's a hold, and it'll be Syracuse ball.
He got beaten and battered basically from his sophomore season at Syracuse on for the rest of his career. People would take shots at him like nothing I've ever seen, and he just stood up and took it and kept trucking.
Did you prefer playing with him or against him?
Very much with him.
Yes.
Very much with him.
I mean, Q, when you were playing at Hopkins, where did Syracuse rank on your list of most hated opponents?
Number 1. And highlighted.
In orange. There's Anderson with the shot. Never had a chance. Well, maybe Johns Hopkins can get another in transition.
They're super aggressive.
They just scored their first goal in almost 15 minutes after missing 16 shots in a row.
And again, team showing some mental toughness. They did it last week, down 7 goals at Virginia. You're kind of seeing that fortitude. Like, yeah, so what? We're going to play the full 60 and see how this thing goes. We're not going to mope after going scoreless for 14-26.
7-goal comeback against Virginia last weekend in Charlottesville matched the largest in program history for Johns Hopkins. Coincidentally, it tied a 7-goal comeback they had against Virginia in 2018. Chauvet, a nasty shooter. That one from straight on. Did not hit the goalie, so no shot clock reset.
Just looks different, doesn't it? Next level velocity.
Here is Eiler, who just scored that goal. Now Chuck Rawson, his shot saved by Jimmy McCool. A dive from Ayers, trying to keep it alive. But Syracuse ends up with it. Jaden Kittleberger, the true freshman who has been outstanding on that rope unit. The skip pass knocked down by Carson Brown. Spallina ground ball scoop.
It's a big grounder. Joey Spallina had 5 ground balls in their win over Maryland in the Dome on a Friday, February. He'll get down and dirty to maintain possession. Syracuse has played vastly too much defense in this third quarter.
Final 3 minutes of the third. That Syracuse-Maryland game, at the time it was 1 versus 2. Terps, the top team in the country. Orange beat them by a couple of goals.
It was down 50,000 basically. And since then it's been all downhill. Maryland lost 3 in a row, only to win last night over Delaware. Cuse lost 2 in a row, Harvard and Princeton.
That's an over and back Hopkins ball. Syracuse was staring a 3rd loss in a row dead in the eye, and then they came back from down 4 late third quarter against Penn. Orange 4-1 on the year, 4-2 on the year. Blue Jays 4-1.
There's been so many captivating non-league games, and I think the fans gotta hit the brakes a little. The rush to judgment. Still only the first week in March. We're just getting things started.
A lot of lacrosse to be played. Hopkins gets Navy here next week, then they start Big Ten play. For Syracuse, they head out to Colorado, take on Air Force and Denver, which caps off their beast of a road trip. 6 road games in a row. Harvard, Princeton, Penn, Hopkins, Air Force, and Denver.
Was there some kind of monster truck show in the Dome or something?
It's the equivalent of the rodeo road trip, or the Grammys trip. Hunter Chauvet the pickup. Feed to the middle. McCool makes another stop. He's been busy. He's been up to the task here in the third.
Big lefty from Boston. Body shot after body shot. Doesn't leave him at very many windows.
Flag on the opposite side of the field, near the substitution box.
Hopkins will be offsides. Now they got 7 guys on D, so they got a free safety. They got a roamer in the middle. See how they play this. So you see Chauvet, 91. He'll be the designated backer. If you're Syracuse, you're probably going to end the quarter right here. Flag denotes possession, and we'd start the fourth quarter with a Syracuse power play.
And in a low-scoring game like this, every possession.
And that separation between game clock and shot clock is just critically in their favor.
A microscopic split, talking tenths of a second. Spallina looking to make something happen.
Well, they can hold it now also. That's the other thing. they'll get the power play here, and they'll hold the ball, and possession will carry over.
Offside 30 seconds. Wait 46, offside 30 seconds. 6 on the shot clock, please.
So 32nd man up for Syracuse. And 5 seconds left in the third. Leo hangs on to it, and the Orange will take possession into the fourth quarter with 25 seconds left on the extra man. Each team scores once in the third. Seemed like they felt a little tight at the beginning of the game, maybe settled in. Now Hopkins answered the Billy Dwan goal, and one with a couple minutes left in the quarter. Down by 2 as we head to the fourth. Stick around.
Deadly efficiency. What a finish! It's a very big argument that he is the best player on the planet.
Well, Peter Milliman's team trying to mount another comeback. They're only down by 2 this time. Largest deficit was 3. They came back from down 7 in the third quarter last Saturday in Charlottesville. And there's your favorite group of people here. Cue the band.
Bringing the energy, bringing the love. Jelinas trying to put himself in a good spot, dancing to the DJ. Orange shooting 1 of 5 in that third quarter. Hopkins 1 of 15. That's got Pete Milliman scratching his forehead.
Syracuse starts with the ball and an extra man here in the fourth. Here is Luke Roa. Keep an eye on 7, Leo, still scoreless today. Orange swinging around the perimeter.
Some nice passing. Jay's keeping their structure on D.
Yeah, Roa's got it now. Thompson, Spalina from a tight angle. A hat trick for the double deuce in his first trip to Homewood.
Little one-touch from the wing on the power play. It looks like Ovechkin in hockey. This ball's in and out of his stick, almost like it's a one-timer. The passing is sublime. Everything's right on the money. It's one cradle and popping that ball to a teammate. Boom. One cradle, moving on. One cradle, moving on. Spalina, he plants. He eyes this up beforehand. Jelinas gets there. He sees it, but he's just late on the low move. And both power plays, both teams just super dangerous with the extra man.
Again, it's Spalina and Thompson linking up. This time, Spalina the finisher. 3 goals, 2 assists. And Spalina now in his career against Johns Hopkins, 19 points in 4 games.
You think about all their action in settled sets, and he's been the guy who's been involved. Dwan's got 2 goals in transition. This is where Johnny Mullen can pay huge dividends for the Orange. He's won his matchup, but now that really counts in the fourth quarter. It's kind of like a ground game in football, Drew. You're just wearing the other team down by winning faceoffs.
Leo, that somehow gets through to Roa.
You could hear it hit Jelinas in the thigh.
Yeah. Jelinas making his 11th save. Goes 5-hole to make it 2 in a row for the Orange.
Rowa's got a vicious release. He's probably the best outside shooter on this roster. A straight overhand release to a 5-hole between the wickets location. The goalie's got to tomahawk chop this. He's got to get that top hand down fast. And you see how Jelinas is locked up here. Watch him lock up. You see the space between the legs. The legs come together, but there's no motion with the stick head. Stick's got to come down between his legs. But the high location holds the goalie high. You think there's going to be a high-to-high shot, so you hold, and you can't get there in time.
This is Syracuse's largest lead after 2 goals in under a minute.
It's danger zone right now in Baltimore for Pete Milliman and the Jays.
Mullen, the faceoff X like a boa constrictor, trying to choke the life out of Hopkins here.
It's a big game for both of these teams, Drew. Anytime the ACC squares off with the Big Ten or Ivy, those 3 leagues are the Titans, and these games really impact RPI and playoff seedings down the road.
Important game for both teams. Yeah, you see the rankings as Hopkins takes it away. Kilrain with the caused turnover. But with Syracuse at 10 and Hopkins at 11, no guarantees for either team about getting into the big dance.
And both teams have arduous schedules. Hopkins plays Navy, and then they'll start Big Ten play. Cuse goes out west. That's always tricky. Denver's tough at home. And then they still got the ACC. Notre Dame looks good. North Carolina is good. Duke is still undefeated. Hard to tell, but they look pretty efficient on both sides of the ball as well.
Chauvet, big part of the comeback last week. And he helped them do the same this time. Ayers' shot is upstairs.
Hopkins has not been able to isolate and attack the midfield defenders of Syracuse. That's been their Achilles heel. It's a Syracuse defense. Top 10 in efficiency this season. A close defense. I think that's as good as any.
Figueres and Dwan, 2 captains. Jordan Beck rounds out that close defense.
They've made some changes. Tyler McCarthy playing much more defensive midfield. Dante Bowen and Kittleberger have been solid as a rock today. Spallina's been outstanding. Bo Khan.
Oh, what a finish. Chuck Rawson. Is that the spark that could catalyze another Hopkins comeback? Second of the day for the junior from Canada.
Off the restart. Left wing picking on the shorty, as I just talked about. And for the first time today, Syracuse doesn't support that matchup. You could see it coming a mile away. I'm not sure why Figueres didn't feel like he could go. And credit Rawson with some extreme patience, kind of pulling McCool off his line.
It's a clean win for Mullen. John Mullen straight to the rack. His second goal of the year. The Orange have won 6 of their last 7 faceoffs. This one leads to pay dirt for Mullen.
Win the whistle. Clean scoop. Speed to evade the trail check. Disrespected by the defense. Mullen came into this season as one of the best Fogos in the country. 63% a year ago. Norwell, Mass. He's a worker. He's been jumpy this season with 18 violations. Man, he has cleaned that up today, and he is putting on a show.
Make it 7 of the last 8 he's won, but a clean check. He lost the ball.
Went off his leg,
yeah,
though.
that'll be Hopkins' ball. Yeah, last touch by Mullen. But for Johnny Mullen, he was below 50% in both games against the Ivy League opponents last weekend, the loss to Princeton and the win over Penn. This is a guy who was only sub 50% twice all of last year when he was an All-American. And Gary Gates said, just trying to get him in the right headspace, but they feel like it won't take long for him to get in a groove. And you heard Someone on the sideline said after he scored that goal, he's back. Rawson's got the hot hand for Hopkins with a couple goals and an assist today. English back to Rawson. Air shoots and scores. Finally finds that bottom right corner to beat McCool. Blue Jays back within 3.
You get a sense this game's opened up now as the defenses start to get fatigued. Inches of space turn into feet that turn into yards in the fourth quarter. Double team drawn by English, one more by Rawson. Ayers finally finds a corner. He's been a little snake bit in the shooting department today. That was textbook, straight overhand release to that far corner location. This Hopkins team can share the ball. Their stick work is precise.
It only took 46 seconds for Hopkins to respond. That's after Mullen went face-off to goal in 5 seconds for Syracuse's last. And the Blue Jays win the face-off here. It was Hobart, who's been battered and bruised, missed the last 2 games with an injury. He was limping on the sideline earlier. Gutsy performance from Joe Hobart.
Picking on the short stick defensive midfielders, as they should.
Which has been the weakness for Syracuse all season, but a strength today. Aside from that goal by Rawson, what a move. McCool, an even better save. That's what Gary Gate wanted. McCool making long passes to spark transition, but Dwan couldn't handle it. And Rawson, who just had his shot saved, picks it up for Hopkins. Gate told us he felt like McCool could be more aggressive making those outlet passes. That one did not bear fruit.
Collison trying to set up a 2-man game here with Desquie, pair of lefties.
Chavette, the quick stick. McCool, another big save.
McCool, one of his strengths is he doesn't really buy fakes. Kind of ignores fakes and just remains sedentary and stagnant in the goal.
How about the wheels on Kittleberger, the freshman? D-Mitty missed the shot. Syracuse claims the run out with Finn Thompson.
Kittleberger, good-looking freshman, played for the Sweetlax Club out of Rochester. Ended up going to Salisbury School. 6'2", 189.
Roa, all kinds of room. It's Spallina on the doorstep. 4 goals and 2 dimes for Joey Spallina.
Not sure if Hopkins felt that Syracuse was going to take some air out of it and settle the ball a bit, but it's all smiles for Gary Gate and the crew on the sideline off the restart. Joey Spallina's got layers to his game. We've seen him as a ball handler from the right wing. He's a terrific inside finisher. And that's why he projects to be the #1 overall pick in the Premier Lacrosse draft. Struggled against Princeton. One of the toughest games of his career, actually. Left with goose eggs, and he's bounced back with solid performances against Penn and then today.
Now, he did not have a point against Princeton. And after the game, the Tigers head coach Matt Madelon said he's the best player in the country. Even after that performance, he commands a ton of attention. Johns Hopkins ball now trailing by 4 again. Sean Krogan, 17 in white and blue out there on this second midfield. Sophomore, another Massachusetts guy. He's from Lexington. Krogan, after the dodge, couldn't get the shot away.
Hopkins has a young roster. 3 freshmen started on opening day. Wickersham, Sorensen at defense, and then Dash Lamity between the pipes. All 3 have been demoted since. Not ideal in terms of player development. But they have a wave. This freshman class is very, very talented.
Yeah, Lamity will be just fine, you got to think.
Yeah, no, it's a tough situation for him. You earn the starting spot, you have success in a couple of home games. Next thing you go on the road in the ACC, you're on grass and you're getting lit up. And it's the first time in his life he's ever, as a successful goaltender, you face that. That's a lot for a freshman though, Drew. I always think it's beneficial like football. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. They sat a little, they watched. They learned that it's more important about the process. How you're a good teammate, what are your practice habits? How do you interact with the press after a big win or a big loss? What's the vibe of the building going to be like? And the responsibilities that go with being a quarterback or a goaltender of a program like this. So sometimes when you rush those guys, it can backfire.
Penalty on Hopkins here, delayed flag. In hindsight, Q, are you grateful for the 6 games you spent on the bench?
Very much. I think I was... Bill Tierney this summer said, we're just trying to bust your balls. We're trying to toughen you up. That's what he said to me about why I didn't start initially. Was I ready to play? Yes. Was I ready to handle playing? No. And failure would have been devastating. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. And I wouldn't have been able to handle success either. So you learn.
Coach T knows what he's doing. Late shot clock here. Again, the delayed penalty coming against Hopkins. Jelinas with his 11th save.
A sneaky good shot by Hoddle.
Yeah, listen, they may not. Let's go now. Well, right now,
4-0 offside, technical foul, 30 seconds, reset 60. White 40 offside, technical service.
The offside will put Syracuse back on the man up for 30 seconds.
Drew, the most difficult part of the goalie position is the ownership of wins and losses. Like when your team loses, you lost. You know what I mean? Like other guys make a mistake, give up a goal, no big deal. You gave up all the goals. It's kind of on you. And so that ownership and learning to kind of separate. This is a critical power play here.
Syracuse has cashed in their 1-man-up chance so far. It was Spallina. Good stick for Hopkins. The Orange maintain possession halfway through this 30-second penalty.
This is an opportunity.
Spallina, left side of your screen. They couldn't get the pass through to him. Picked up by Tyler I. Parker Sorensen, the freshman you mentioned, 46 in white and blue, was out there on the man down.
Yeah, that's a great play by I, getting his stick up in the passing lane. That's what he's known for. The sophomore from Lawrenceville. Elite stick, flashy hands. Broke his jaw last season, but that was a big-time turnover created by number 48.
Hopkins needs goals, and they need them quickly as we approach 5 minutes left in regulation. They trail Syracuse by 4.
Very much this game's within reach. A goal a minute.
Orange looking to make it 3 wins in a row in this rivalry. They currently trail the all-time series 32-30-1. Rawson, a dangerous pass and a turnover for Johns Hopkins.
It amazes me that Matt Collison could have so much success early in this game, dodging to the net, and then the lack of touches or the lack of opportunities he's given the rest of the way. He can win his matchup. He can draw double teams.
Is that on him or the team and the scheme?
You know, they like to run a motion offense, and then they like to run 2-man games against shorties. I just think they have to play more power lacrosse, like get the ball to our Randy Moss or give the ball to your stud.
Bo Khan has it here. Syracuse certainly content.
Like NBA, tell me in the NBA, are they attacking matchups or are they going with their superstar at critical possessions?
You try to do a little bit of both. You try to get your superstar on a matchup you like.
but the play's running through our best player.
Absolutely. Spallina's got it, 15 seconds to shoot. Centering feed picked up by Leo. Hahn with it now. Great defense from Hopkins and Luke Martin. A flag flies.
Luke Martin's just scrapping out there. He's going to get called probably for a hold or a slash. But I tell you, he's played a nice game, 13 and white. This guy's energy level. Or is that against Syracuse?
1 minute.
Yeah, it is on Syracuse. It's on Finn Thompson.
Oh, that's why Martin didn't do anything illegal in there. I thought he might have got it, held him a bit. See, here's Thompson. Oh, that is a slash. It's a good call by the officials. Thompson comes in and gives him a two-handed axe job to the chest, and that's why Martin was dancing around, because he was in pain.
Yeah. Martin fired up, and you can see why after the slash. Doesn't always have to be a goal that can spark a comeback, but for Hopkins, time is ticking. Now literally, 3:30 and some change to play. 1 minute on the man up.
Lefties are lethal on this group, 91 and 16, near side of your screen.
Yep, Chauvet, number 91, their top man-up scorer this year. Collison scored their first 2 goals today. Here's Ayers. Now Eiler out top now. Collison, that rip. Ooh, he took the pylon out.
Like a bowling pin. I like that shot early in a power play. Loosens up the D.
Rawson in the middle of that Syracuse man down, the Junkyard Dogs. Ayers, Eiler, no look, skip trying to get it to Chauvet. It was deflected, out of bounds, stays with Hopkins. 18 left on the extra man. Eiler, the bouncer. Now 11 seconds left on the penalty. Hopkins has taken 3 shots. None of them have hit McCool. 5 seconds left with Thompson in the sin bin. Here's Collison. Syracuse back to even strength. Johns Hopkins down by 4. Can't capitalize on the man up, and McCool makes another save. All the way to midfield. Great play by McCarthy just to keep it alive. Spallina couldn't do the same.
McCool took that one off the right knee. It stung him. He's behind the play trying to shake that one off. That was a howitzer by Collison.
13 saves and just 7 goals allowed for Jimmy McCool. He's been 50% or better in every game this season. His name is fitting. Timeout, Johns Hopkins. Last-ditch effort for Peter Milliman's team. They have outshot Syracuse 50-32 today, but Jimmy McCool at Syracuse by 4.
It's an amazing game, this thriller. With deadly efficiency. What a finish! A very big argument that he is the best player on the planet.
When it's time to start your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to go from launch to legendary. Bring your brand to life with easy-to-customize themes. Drag, drop, done. Start selling everywhere people shop, whether they're strolling or scrolling.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream.
And never leave a sale behind with the world's best converting checkout. See why millions of businesses sell with Shopify. Start your free trial today.
Johns Hopkins timeout. They'll have the ball, but they trail by 4 with 2:12 to play against one of their oldest rivals in Syracuse. The Blue Jays are shooting just 14%, 7 for 51 compared to 34% for Syracuse, and Jimmy McCool has had a lot to do with that.
Hopkins going scoreless for nearly 15 minutes in the late second and early third quarters. McCool's held his ground. He's been supported by a defense that's been outstanding. Coming in number 10 in the country in defensive efficiency for defensive coordinator John O'Derna, and they just keep getting better and better. Their short stick defensive unit tightening up today. Hopkins not able to run by those midfielders and really get this defense in motion, and Hopkins' attack has been kind of subpar for the level, right? I mean, Jimmy Ayers has a goal. Chauvet has 1 goal. Eiler has 1 goal. But everything's been up top.
And Collison invisible since he scored the first 2 of the game for them. Final 2 minutes, 4-goal edge for the Orange. Collison to Ayers, the pass mishandled. Chased by Figueres. They just got to hustle here. Collison, he'll take the shot, bounces it through. It somehow gets by McCool. Collison has his hat trick.
Gary Gates scored 70 goals as a senior playing midfield for Syracuse. Roy Simmons Jr. ran the offense through Coach Gate and number 22. I think Johns Hopkins needs to run the offense through number 16. He takes one of the best long stick defenders, one of the best poles in the country, Billy Dwan, to the rack, leans in, and finally beats McCool. Collison needs more touches.
After the violation by Mullen, Drew Angelo in there for the faceoff. Syracuse has possession. Vinny Bolnino runs it into the offensive end, and Syracuse can kill the majority of the game clock here.
Really smart by Joey Spallina, man. He's all over it. He's a coach on the field. He's a leader of this team. He's shown up this year, and that win against Maryland was, to me, the best game of his career, and this game today wasn't far off of it. Low turnovers, smart shot selection, managing clock and score. Joey Spallina is the real deal.
Son of a coach, Joe, one of 3 Spallina brothers on the Syracuse roster, along with Jake and Brett. Their sister Alexa, one of the best women's players in the country, now playing for Clemson. Royalty in this sport. Free goal, and Hoddle takes advantage and puts the final nail in the coffin.
Hoddle, a Baltimore product. His dad just retired as the football coach at Stevenson University, which is up the road. And this kid can run. He's playing man down today. He's scored a handful of goals on the season, and you just can't keep up with him. Not the biggest cat in the world, but look at him. Woo! See you later. Too fast.
5'7", about $150. Got a ton of shake and wiggle. Mullen back in there. Right ball goes to Hopkins. Barring something miraculous, it'll be too little too late. Liam Burke has it. Now it's Collison. Righty shot. Syracuse is on it. Violation against the Blue Jays, and that should pretty much do it. McCool.
He's just messing with you, Drew. 2 Boston goalies. McCool wins this matchup.
Dwan flings it into the air. 2 goals today for the close defenseman. Against a team his dad coached for so long, and Syracuse makes it 3 straight in this series against their rivals from Hopkins. Gary Gate knows how much this one means. He lived it. He played in it. Now he's coaching in it. First time Syracuse has come here to Homewood since Gary's first year as the head coach back in 2022. Joey Spallina's first game at Homewood, pretty impressive.
Joey was awesome. Coach Gates got to be happy with the way his team pushed the ball in transition and the defensive effort surrounding Jimmy McCool, who had a career day today. Hopkins shooting percentage not up to par.
McCool, 14 saves, only 8 goals allowed. And it's a 4-goal Syracuse win to improve them to 5-2 before their West Coast trip. You want to call it that? They go to Colorado to take on Air Force and Denver. For Hopkins, it's Navy, and then Big Ten play begins. Thanks for spending some of your Saturday with us here in Baltimore. Always fun when the Syracuse Orange and the Hopkins Blue lock horns on a lacrosse field. For Quinn Kesnick and our entire outstanding crew here on ESPN, thanks for hanging. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.